Welcome again, everybody, to the Mile High Basketball Guys podcast. It is me, Santi, Rico. I'm a bit dressed down today in my casual Sundays because it is ridiculously hot in my apartment right now. And I am joined by Michael Squires, who hopefully has functioning AC.
Yes, I do, good sir.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, you can't really knock it, man. The Nuggets won. We did the series in 6 games.
I have to say you did call that right on the number. So I will say I thought it was going to go 7, but Santi outpredicted me in this one. We did both think that we were going to pull the series out. What fans would we be if we did it?
Yeah, exactly.
But he definitely called it right on the nose.
Honestly, that prediction though, it was a bit hopeful, a bit blinded because the way they were playing to start off, especially, was intimidating. But
it looked like every bit of going to 7 games. Initially, I was worried for a little bit.
Yeah, we could not control Damian Lillard, but he was basically the only player on their team most of the time.
Well, there was even a game, I think it was game 3 in the series, where he had a good game, and then or he didn't have a good game, and the rest of the team definitely stepped up for him. So even when they were off, he was off, they were kind of on. It was a little concerning, but once those other guys cooled off and once Dame cooled off, I think that's when we were able to get a handle on this series.
Yeah, definitely. But I couldn't be prouder of the team. I feel like the only time we looked bad was when they were containing Nikola Jokic. That I think it was game 4 when he only put up like 15 points.
Game 1, they did a pretty good job too of limiting his playmaking when he only had 1 assist in the game.
Yeah.
So I was at that game actually. And
congratulations.
No, it was a little disappointing, man.
Yeah, well, you weren't there for the win, but at least you were there, man.
Bad luck, I think. We'll stop going to the playoff games. But no, they did a good job of limiting his playmaking, like I said. So they just let him shoot. And we had talked about earlier in the season how like sometimes when he puts up big scoring numbers, we sometimes lose because they took us out as a team. And that's really our status, like how we play. That's how we play our games. We pass the ball, we get other players involved, and just making him put up volume numbers is just, it works against us. And I think that's something that they realized. So that's something that they had planned going into the season or into the series, but it just really didn't play out for them. It wasn't a bad strategy, but you're going up against the future MVP. You know, you got to come with a little more heat than that.
He's not just the future MVP; he's the current MVP. Jokic is the best center in the league by far.
Yeah,
we got to talk about Austin Rivers though, who honestly came up clutch in a few of these games. He was a lot of the scoring impetus when we were missing people like Jamal Murray and Will Barton.
Oh, yeah, he came up big from the three-point line this series. Him and Aaron Gordon from the three-point line were a saving grace for us. They were definitely something that we needed. I know Austin Rivers was capable of it, but the hot streak he went on to seal a game for us, that was pretty amazing. I think it was game 3 that he went off on, and you could just see it in his eyes. It was just like, he was talking trash. He was backing it up. He was red hot. He was taking contested shots. It was like, man, who is this guy? You know,
he was feeling it.
I've been excited ever since we signed him. I said ever since the beginning that as soon as we got him, that he was going to be an important part of a deep playoff run just because he's a veteran. You know, it's his coach's son. But I didn't expect that type of lights out shooting.
Neither did I, man.
A game. Like you said, with Jamal Murray being out, you're thinking, who's going to be that guy, if there is any, that's going to be able to have that type of effect. And not saying that he's anywhere close to the efficiency of a late game Jamal Murray when the blue arrow comes out and the meat mug is on. It's almost uncomparable, but he definitely did his best. And that's all you can do as a team is when you step into a role and a starting role, you have to produce points. You have to score. You have to pass. You have to defend. And I say, even though he gave up a lot of points to Dame, he did his best, especially in the closeout game. I think Austin Rivers did a phenomenal job on ball defense against Dame, which was
second, third. He did the best that he could, you know.
Right, anybody could.
Really hard to hold.
Like when he was praying, when he was thanking God for him missing a shot, like I felt it too, because that game 5 performance was nothing short of another legendary scoring performance against the Nuggets, but in a losing effort. So you look at that, Donovan Mitchell's 57 or it was 58 points that he scored against us in a losing effort. It's like, that's fine. You can have the numbers. We'll take the series.
I agree. And that game 5 was just crazy in general. Like that was an awesome game to watch. It was very nerve-wracking.
It decided the series.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. Cause I feel like that really, crushed the rest of the Portland team's morale, so to speak. Cause they fought to a double overtime and they still lost by 7 points in that second overtime. Like I would be tired after that.
Right.
That's a lot of extra minutes that you got.
It's called pivotal game 5 for a reason. And you could see that everybody left it all out there and everybody knew that the series was going to come down to that game. And it was very hard fought. And it was one of the best games that I've ever seen. So I was so excited that we were able to pull out that win. And like you said, for them to put in that much effort in a losing effort, it rolled over to the next game. You could tell they were done. Then there wasn't a rest day for traveling. It was like back, they had one day, boom, then they were right back at it. And I think that benefited us more because, elevate, live in the elevation. So
yes, sir.
We were more conditioned for going from high elevation to lower elevation. So, I mean, we utilized what we needed to do in game 5. That was a historic performance. And the Joker, nothing short of legendary. Of course, people didn't, and the media didn't give him his praise as much as they should have because Dame had those 55 points. But it doesn't matter because we came out with the win, and that's what that leader does. Nicole, it makes us better as a team. It doesn't matter how good you are individually.
Yeah, I agree. And in those last 2 games, Monte Morris really showed out. He scored 50 points between the two, and he was just sinking them off the bench. He's proven to be like a really good bench scorer for the team.
I was calling for him to be a starter in this series. I love Facundo Campazzo, but he had a couple good games, but for the most part,
he only had a couple though. Facundo was kind of lacking.
I feel like he held his back in the guard play because he couldn't really guard CJ McCollum or Dame that good. So it's like, hopefully he has better success against the Chris Pauls of the world, which, he's a future Hall of Famer. So hopefully he can just pester him a little better. But Dame and CJ, they were just too athletic for him and they were just making plays. And I felt like when it was him and Monte, and at the same time, that's when they were really going on deep scoring runs. So I was calling for Monte to start with Austin at the guards. And I think that's honestly what we should have rolled with.
I agree. That's probably the rollout I would do too. Because
for that series in particular, I don't mind giving him a go for game 1 against the Suns. I think he's earned that right. But for the Portland Trailblazers series in particular, and you could tell that he was getting less minutes with the starters towards the end of the series. So I think Malone started to wisen up in that aspect. But the kids earned minutes, so it's hard for you to put him on the bench when he played so
he's earned a place in our heart, Mr. Facundo.
Absolutely, yeah, he's a fan favorite.
Yeah, and I mean, as a rookie, like he's really put in the work. The oldest rookie in the league, but like he's definitely staked a claim in that starting lineup. So I can understand why people would want him to start, but he just wasn't as effective as he was during the regular season. So I think you're right with Monte and Austin Rivers, but we'll see how this Phoenix series lines up. But before that, how do you feel about JaVale only playing in like 3 games the entire series?
Well, he had like a couple of trash time minutes that I seen him in, and so far that we just traded to bring in an expensive cheerleader at this point because he was on the sideline. I mean, he does a good job, but I don't think that's what he intended to bring him in for. And I guess the purpose to bringing him in for was a team of the LA Lakers who have a bunch of big guys and stuff like that. And when you look at the Trailblazers, they had Nurkic, so they aren't really deep at the big guy position. So we didn't really need him in this series in particular. But there were stretches I felt like we were getting out rebounded where his presence would have been felt.
Yeah, that's what he does. Is he's a rebounder, and a lot of times, Jokic went for 16 rebounds in game 1, and he really he does a good job at the rebounding. But if we had 2 really good rebounders, because Aaron Gordon's only 6'8", he's not the best rebounder. He's more of
kind of undersized. Yeah, he's just extremely athletic.
Yeah, and Michael Porter Jr. obviously can grab a few rebounds, but
which I need to. Oh my goodness, I want to talk about his ball handling.
Yeah,
his ball handling has been exposed. I mean, absolutely exposed.
Yeah.
I think when we were praising him so much at the end of the season, the nice little run he was going on, I was blinded by the flashiness, but I didn't realize that his ball handling needs significant improvement. So last season, it was the defense they needed to work on. I'd say he definitely did a great job at that. But I'd say this season, this off season, he definitely needs to work on his ball handling. I mean, I feel uncomfortable watching him drive to the basket sometimes.
Yeah. It's kind of sketchy, man. He's a big boy, so when he starts to bomb at the basket, there's a lot of space between his hand and the floor when he's dribbling.
Right.
There's a lot of room for the smaller guys to take a swipe.
And there was a lot of opportunities for little guards to just snatch it from him. Little point guards were just snatching the ball from him, and it was just like, man, you got to get stronger grip strength in that. Like, he was getting bullied.
Yeah, he's got big old hands too. There ain't no reason.
Their strategy for shutting down Michael Porter Jr., which worked, I'd say, for like the first few games, was just to get physical with him. Like, he's a pretty boy who just likes to shoot. And they just kept, bumping him and snatching the ball from him, and they exposed that when it's time for him to put the ball on the floor and make a play, he still has work to do. And he did better definitely in that closeout game. Obviously, when he started that first quarter off red hot, not missing a shot for the first 8 or 9 shots. I mean, the guy was shooting lights out, couldn't stop him. But it's like, you got to be able to create for yourself. And I think that's where Kevin Durant was saying that he doesn't see his game in Porter Jr. because Durant can drive.
Kevin Durant can just put the ball wherever he needs to shoot it. And Porter Jr. definitely is more of a catch and shoot kind of guy, or find it in the right position and then take the shot rather than creating his own area.
Absolutely. I see the comparisons with the jump shot. I mean, the guy's 6'10", silky smooth jumper. I can see that comparison to KD, but as far as an overall game, I can see why KD would have those comments about him, because I at first took it as disrespect. Like, the guy's pretty good. Like, why would you say that? All right, he kind of looks after me, but he can't handle the ball. I would feel a little insulted if someone be like, yeah, that's who looks like you. And like, that's what I look like. Then, all right, I need to step my game up. But,
yeah.
But I have to say that he did step it up towards the middle to the end of the series. But, man, that is an area that he is going to have to work on pretty diligently, because he's too big not to be able to use his length to his advantage. I felt like it was at his disadvantage when he was dribbling.
Yeah, especially in this upcoming series, because he's probably going to be guarded by Michael Bridges, and Bridges ain't no slouch on the perimeter defense. He's going to be really having to work for his points.
Shoot, Crowder, they have Payne, they have a lot of people that can defend the 3-point line really well. So it's not going to be any easier from here on out, especially if we want any aspirations to go to the Western Conference Finals and then the NBA championships. Then he's going to be just guarded by straight lockdown and first team or finalists for MVP. So the road only gets tougher from here. It's up to him to step up and take the challenge and be that 25-point per game, 10 rebound scorer that we've seen that was on fire towards the end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, he was still playing well, but like, it wasn't the same. And that's playoffs basketball. That's just how it rolls. Like, the defense is tighter. Everything's a little more precise on the offense.
To see Monte step it up, because I've seen Monte just fold in recent playoff history. To see him step up is just so phenomenal.
Feels
so
good
to see as a fan, because he is one of those fan favorites, and you do count on him night in and night out. In regular season, he delivers. But when it comes to that postseason, like you said, that there's a huge jump in intensity. And if you're not ready for that, then you'll fade away like Porter Jr. did in the first couple of games. But Monte Morris, he really stepped his game up, and he was a huge question mark for me. He was somebody I had my eye on in particular to start these playoffs, because he just got that extension. So we have to see if we're getting our money's worth out of him, because if he can only perform in the regular season, then what good is he going to be? To see him step it up. Although he did have some late game missed free throws that we have to address. Although his overall performance was great, that needs to be a signed, sealed delivery. When we put you out, you're the hands team for an onside kick at that point. We count on you to take that foul and go put those points up, making it closer than it has to be, missing 2 in the pressure cooker. So, as long as he tightens that up, he's actually had one great performance so far.
Yeah, I'm digging Monte Morris's play, that's for sure. One thing that I wanted to highlight was we were giving praise on Marcus Howard last time he played a good amount of minutes, but in that game 4, he just looked like garbage, man. He could not hit a shot to save his life. It felt like everything he put up just was not going to fall. And I don't know about him anymore. He put up a lot of questions for me.
He bounced back. I feel like I would question some of his minutes because I felt like Shaq Harrison should have seen more time over Marcus Howard, especially when the guards were getting hot. What I didn't like to see was Shaq Harrison coming off the bench so late in games and expected to do a guard Dame who's red hot, who's feeling it. Like you haven't even given him any chance to develop a rhythm against him. You're just going to throw him in cold against somebody who is absolutely red hot and nobody can guard him, and you think he's just going to step in and do it. No, you need to play him more minutes so he can get used to the flow of the game, get used to the players' movements, and be the lockdown defender that he can be. I didn't feel like we utilized Shaq Harrison good enough. I mean, we got the win. We got the series win, and it didn't go to a game 7, so I can't really question too much on how we got it done. But I do feel like Shaq Harrison would have helped us a lot with the perimeter defense, and Marcus Howard, he provides the exact opposite. He gives us instant offense, and there were some instances where I felt like we didn't need instant offense. We needed
what we needed to do was contain Dame 100% of the time, because Damian Lillard was like 99% of everything that was going for the Portland Trailblazers, especially towards the end when he put up those 55 in the double overtime. And you were saying that Shaq should match Dame's minutes, and do you really think that would have helped a lot?
I think that would have helped. I think if he would have maybe not matched him, but at least start someone else like Austin Rivers on him, and then the first person to come off the bench, the first 6 man should be 6 and 7 man should be Monte, and then Shaq Harrison should come in and replace at the very least, because I feel like we were just letting him do whatever he wanted until he started to get hot, and then we paid attention to it. But it's like we need to kind of prevent that fire from starting and not try to put it out. And maybe it went a little overboard with it, shadowing his minutes, because Dame was doing like 60 minutes a game, but at least switch up the Campazzo on him. I didn't like Campazzo on Dame. I didn't really feel like he pestered him like he did most guards in other series, and it was it was evident early. Like you could see it from game 1. It was like, okay, yeah, Campazzo is probably not going to be able to be the man to get the job done. So I was just hoping from future games from game 1 on that Shaq Harrison at least be one of the first people off the bench to develop a rhythm against him. I just hate how he was getting thrown in cold, because he can defend really well, and he actually didn't look that great. But I attribute it to the situation he was put in,
Yeah. So speaking of that, how did you feel Coach Malone did during this series? You think he gets a seal of approval from Michael?
No, absolutely not. Oh, I have such a long list. I don't think we have enough time. No, I'm just playing. But I think there are things he did well, and there's things that he didn't do well. You could say that about any coach. There are things that he did that he didn't change from the regular season that kind of concern me. One thing in particular being putting your starters in too late in the second and fourth quarters. It was killing me. Even when we were doing well, even when the bench gave us a 20-point lead, I still think it's smart to get your starters back in early in the second. They could have came in with like a 15-point lead, and then they're still red hot and we're rolling off of that. Instead, they're coming in off of too much rest. I think, like, you look at other people's starters are playing way more than our starters do, which I guess is a luxury. But at the same time, it's playoff basketball. You want your starters in there. Go for sweeps if we can. Like, I feel like we kind of planned for 7-game series. I don't really like that.
I think we could have done this easily in a sweep if we had really brought it, but
absolutely
we just lacked. And Norman Powell put up that 30-point game against us. But
an interesting stat on Coach Malone, it was like, I don't remember the last time. I think it said, I don't remember what year it was, but it's been a long time since he's had a 2-game series lead. Like, that was the first time in a long time that Malone's had a 2-game series lead. If he wins one, he typically loses the next one. And that's what we said a lot.
Doggos.
Yeah, I got my little fur babies. They like to bark at everything. But Malone, he just needs to make more adjustments. It's playoffs. You notice the great coaches, they make that leap, the leap in intensity, leap in difficulty. You can't do the same things you're doing all season long. And sometimes that is going to come back to bite us, and we need to put teams away. We can't go deep in a series, every series. Like, people predicting that game going 7 series was most people, and that's the first round. You're a third seed in the first round, so I'm glad we closed it out in less than 7. But yeah, it's just like I feel like there are little things that we could have done to make that series a little fat. We could have done it in 5. I feel like.
I agree. It needs some tweaking because our starters should definitely be playing. I miss Jamal, but I feel like we're playing slightly better ball without him just because there's more team play into it. So,
right. I think
you win some, you lose some.
Are so good, especially in late game situations. They're more comfortable passing the ball, and when that's not there, like, okay, my number might be called. I might be the person who hits the game winner, and when Jamal Murray was on the floor, that it's either him or Jokic. But I feel like now it should be either him or Porter. But Porter's at that point to where like we don't know if we can rely on him to that level. So it could come from anybody. So that's why I think Austin Rivers had the chance to step up and shine like that. Monte Morris having an opportunity to step up and shine like that. Those are opportunities created because there is no Jamal Murray. Like there's nothing against Jamal Murray in the way he plays. Like he's an excellent player. But it's just something about like when you are so effective, it kind of like other people feel like they don't need to be as present. So without his presence, they're like, okay, now I might have to be that guy that hits that late game 3, or go on a series of 3s in the fourth quarter that's going to keep us in this game. And that's what we got, or what we've been getting. And it's truly amazing how they're stepping up, and especially in the playoffs. So if Nikola Jokic doesn't win MVP, I don't know what criteria.
Push Shaw. It's basically a done deal. It has to happen, man. There's nobody on any other team that can play like Jokic, and that brings a team up like Jokic. Because, as I've said 100 times before, we're just a totally different team without him on the court.
All right, so since you've been the messiah of predictions lately, what do you think we're gonna do in the next round?
Next round, yeah, you put me on the spot. I haven't had time to think too much, but. Officially, tomorrow, man. I think it's going to be another six game series. Obviously, with us winning, because I'm not going to predict us losing. But the biggest problem that I see is DeAndre Ayton is playing like ridiculously good in this postseason, and
76% from the field, which
like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous numbers. That's like 2K level play right there. And Chris Paul's obviously passing well, and Devin Booker is really showing out a lot of the time.
Scary.
Yeah, he put LeBron in the dirt, man. I was expecting that to go at least 7 games, so it was
well, without a healthy AD, they never really stood a chance.
Yeah. I feel bad for AD, man. He got injured in some of the most crucial times. Like he got injured halfway through the season and gave him a 7 seed, and then comes back and injures himself.
Sorry for them. They have an embarrassment of riches. You know what I mean? So that's what you get when
that's savage, bro.
You put so much into one player, that one player goes down, you don't have depth. And there you go. That's when you manufacture a team that way. That's things that you have to deal with.
That's how it goes.
That's your reality. And I don't feel sorry for somebody that just won a championship. You get no.
What's crazy about that is like on the opposite side of the country, we got the Nets, who have 3 absolute star players, and then they still have depth beyond. Like they have Harris, they have Griffin still, I believe, and they've got like a bunch of talent. But like I don't remember the statistic, but the top 3 haven't been playing like more than 40 games together. Like
they've only played. I think they only played like 17 games together this year. So because. Yeah, they've played very, very few games together. And then James Harden went down in the first 43 seconds in their game 1 last night.
Yeah.
So
I didn't see that. Did that happen?
Yeah, he went down the first 40, and they still won because Kyrie and KD went off. So it's like, you got a true 3-headed monster over there. And I don't feel like they have that in LA. So I mean, they do have a pretty good team, but when you have a aging LeBron and the number 2 dude goes out on his team, like really the number 1 dude, because AD.
I say he's number 1, yeah.
Yeah, so he goes down. That was a wrap for them. But I do see some weakness in their point guard position. Like Chris Paul, he's not really I don't know, man. He doesn't
He's getting
seem as
old, bro.
yeah, man. You're
He's
starting to
starting to
see
lose that
that.
spring, that's for sure.
We have a lot of guards to throw at him too. Is one thing I really learned in that last series is that we do actually have a lot more guards than I thought we did that can guard the perimeter. Rivers does a lot better than I thought he does on that perimeter, and Monte Morris does a decent job. He's just undersized, and we all know Facundo Campazzo, he plays those passing lanes better than most people in the NBA anyway.
Yeah.
So if we can just contain Chris Paul and contain Devin Booker, limit Chris Paul's playmaking, I think that Ayton is no matchup for Jokic one-on-one in the paint. So I think this is a matchup that favors us. Really. I think that they're looking at it on paper and they're a little worried, especially if we get a PJ Dozier back and get a Will Barton back.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Will Barton, but PJ Dozier coming back, I'm pretty excited about. Will Barton, I feel like he's going to tank our offense in certain situations.
Right, he's going to be cutting into crucial minutes, like people that have stepped up and played both ends of the floor and not question if they're going to go 1 for 8. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. is like the only person that might go like 1 of 10, 1 of 11, but we live with that because he's going to go get us more buckets than he's not on a more consistent basis. Like how efficient he was scoring this season was like one of the second most efficient scoring seasons of all time. So I mean, when he doesn't just put up prayers like Will Barton does sometimes. So I do agree with that. But he is a veteran that has playoff experience. So just being at full rotation, full health, like we might be one of those teams who can go 10 men deep in the playoffs, which that really says a lot about our team without a Jamal Murray.
Yeah, the team's looking good. So I gave you my prediction. What do you think is going to happen with these Phoenix?
I was going to say that too, but now it looks like I'm just copying your answer.
No.
I'm gonna switch it up now. I'm gonna go Nuggets in 5. You know what I'm saying? Let's see that. Let's say that we take game 1. You know, we take that home court. We split it. I think we could do it in 5.
Yeah. Well, that's ballsy. I mean, I would hope honestly, because I like these short series. I prefer to move on up the quickest we can.
I like to be rested and be dominant as can be. These grueling 7-game series over the last couple of years, I think it has its effect when you make it deeper into the playoffs. You can't really go 7
No doubt.
games.
I mean, you're playing an extra 2 or 3 games every series. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it.
Damn near another series within the series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got other teams that are advancing already, so I'm glad that we're starting our game 1s as well.
Only thing that should be hard fought is the finals, in my opinion.
Well, the Western Conference Finals should be a good battle.
Yeah, who do you think we're going to be going up against?
So the Jazz will be playing the winner of the Mavs and the Clippers games tonight. So
you think either of them have a chance against the Jazz?
Man, Luka the Don, bro. I cannot count against the dude is putting up numbers like unbelievable, 40-point games all over the place. So you can't really count Luka out. But the Jazz, it's all up to if they continue to hit threes. Like how high of a percentage can they continue to shoot threes? They've been shooting great all season long. If they cool off at some point, you know, then they might be beatable. But if they keep hitting, then we'll probably be seeing the Jazz, and it'll be a divisional matchup in the Western Conference Finals.
I'm hoping Donovan Mitchell gets injured in that time because gosh, I'm just playing. But like, he's gonna kill us, dude, and we don't have Jamal to bring it back. Like,
but I think that's fine.
So difficult.
We had Dame go off and we survived it.
Yeah, but Dame didn't have all the support that Donovan Mitchell has. Like, he's got the Stifle Tower and all kinds of stuff going on around him. Especially with Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles is like mean from the 3-point line.
Him and Clarkson, right? They both were 1 and 2 for 6th man of the year. They have 6th and 7th man on the year on their team. So I mean, absolutely, they're loaded. Yeah. So I mean, that's something they have to worry about. But if they play that type of ball, though, then we don't have to worry about that. If it's just Donovan Mitchell jacking up threes, we just kind of played that. We kind of actually know how to defend that. But if when they're swinging the rock and finding the open man, that's what we have to worry about. Passing Donovan Mitchell is a dangerous Donovan Mitchell.
I agree. So, all right, that's our prediction because we're both not predicting the Denver's going out in the 2nd round. So we're going to the conference finals. We're facing the Utah Jazz. How do you think that's going to go?
That, I think, is a series that might go to 7.
I agree. 7 either way, man. 7 either way, because it's gonna be really hard fought. I don't know if we can squeeze our way past Utah because we barely did last season. We barely did. And
I'll have to say that whoever wins the championship this year, if they come out the West, that might be one of the toughest paths I've ever seen to an NBA title, because it's been pretty competitive all the way through.
The West is stacked, man. There's a lot of good teams out here.
Right, and then you survive that, and you get to play the Nets.
Yeah.
You know,
You think it's going to be the Nets? Because I think it might be Philly.
Too much firepower. Philly's actually making a comeback right now, but they were getting stomped on their home floor all game long by young Ice Trey.
Yeah. But I mean, I think Philly is really like one of those sleeper kind of teams because they're one of the best in the league, and they have like so many little itty bitty like intricacies. The team plays really interesting because
they have 3-point shooters. Obviously they have Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. I mean, they are stacked head to toe as a team, but I just feel like they're just not dominant like that. Like I don't think they'll get past Brooklyn. I don't think they get past the Bucks if the Bucks were able to get past Brooklyn. I just really think that the the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be won in the Bucks and Nets series, and yeah, it's going to be a hard fought battle in the West.
I agree. All right. Here, I got a comment real quick. Ronnie says, Mike's right. You don't feel for the other team. So,
yeah, sorry, AD, but gone fishing. See you next year.
Yeah, dude. He tried to play that game and he was just on the floor in the first.
It was bad. It didn't. Whatever doctor said that it was okay for him to go, they need to reevaluate if they need to be on the stand next year, because I know it'd be hard for you not to play an AD in an elimination game. But would you want to risk him having further injuries? It just shows that you don't really have any care for your players. And as a player standpoint, I'd be like, you don't care about me. Like, I'm gonna suit up, sure, because I'm gonna go. I'm gonna always want to go, but I'm gonna rely on my medical staff to protect me and put me in the best situation possible, because I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, well, it played out how he played out. I don't think AD has any blame there either, because obviously you want to play. You're the number one, number two guy on the team. You're gonna want to be out there, and if the doc says it's fine, you're gonna go out. But
obviously it was not fine.
Yeah, no, he was not okay. That was a sad scene.
Game too. Like, he made it 5 minutes, but that's just off pure toughness. So I mean, respect to that. But other than that, you get injured, you live with it. We lost one of our main guys, torn ACL, out for the year. We're still kicking. So
honestly, I hate to say it, but it was kind of a boon for our team because we're playing totally better basketball since he left.
The proof is in the pudding. He's one of our record has probably been, I think it was like top 3 or 4 in the league since Jamal Murray's gone down. So we're definitely playing exceptional team basketball. But and it might be for him. Everybody like, let's do this for Jamal, and hopefully that's resonating. And he had a heartfelt speech before Game 1 too. I felt it. He's hurting not to be out there, and I think the team feels that, and I think the team feeds off that. So if we can see the silver lining in anything and try to pull any positives out of it, it'll be that Jamal Murray's not going to be the catalyst for our motivation and our energy.
That's all JaVale.
From the bench, my guy is just fantastic. We couldn't have got a better cheerleader.
What a guy, bro!
What a guy!
He's wilding out, bro. He barely plays, but he's still there every game.
I don't see another team that's as big as the Lakers. Like, we don't really need JaVale at this point. So let's keep the motivation up. But if they decide to put him in at any point and he decides to clog that paint up, I'll still be rooting for him. But for now on, it looked like he's gonna have to get comfortable from the bench.
Get that man some pom-poms.
A good luck charm. He's been in the championship game 3 out of the last 4 years. Maybe he's just a good luck charm.
He's helping with the mentality, that's for sure. Because I feel like that's what our team really has is like we're very cohesive and we believe in it.
Right.
Like we really believe in it. We buy into it. The game plan, everything's playing out pretty well, and you can see that with the way we're playing and just the way all the players are acting, the camaraderie, so to speak.
Yeah, it's real amazing. And I just definitely want to highlight another thing I mentioned earlier. I didn't get into depth of it, but just Aaron Gordon from the 3-point line. and not even rattling them home. My man is just swishing threes in that last series.
Flash.
If he can continue that up and just be a defensive presence, I was definitely impressed. Maybe not impressed, but I was satisfied, I would say, with Aaron
It's
Gordon.
what we need, and it's what we need. We need those shooters on the outside because
we had huge question marks about him towards the end of the series, and we're definitely trying to be patient with him and realizing that he's new to the team and all that. So, and it's important that when he does have games like that or series like that, we got to give the man his praise. He went from a losing culture to a winning culture, and he must have told himself, I'm going to hit some threes, space the floor, make myself dangerous, because he was like no hesitation pulling them. And I used to be nervous, but like halfway through the series, I was like, go ahead, shoot it.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
You got the green light, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm digging Aaron Gordon lately. He's really staked his claim, and I think he's just more efficient than Paul Millsap ever was.
For sure.
Paul was good and veteran, but like Aaron Gordon is really just.
I think Millsap's done after this season, man.
I agree. He's
brought some veteran presence in the playoffs and some great defense, and it's just you can see it's lacking, and he's not getting the calls he used to, and he's still trying to get those calls, and sometimes he's doing some real weird things where you notice like, all right, God, it might be that time to hang it up, and it might be time for the Nuggets to move on from him. Like, we've been pretty loyal to him. He's been pretty loyal to us, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and when it's your time to go, man, you gotta just move on gracefully,
gracefully, yes, exactly. Don't go out kicking and screaming, man. Just let it happen.
It looks bad, man. Millsap doesn't look like the Millsap of old, even in the playoffs. I even defended him this year. Like, all right, we just need him for the playoffs. And he hasn't been that spark off the bench. I will say, JaMychal Green has played better. He's been getting it done.
Better.
Not great,
but
he's been playing better, and he went on a good stretch in that closeout game. And it was quoted that Michael Porter Jr. told him to let him rock.
He's still not hitting those threes though, man. Like,
but he started hitting middies. He was getting some offensive rebounds. I mean, he's just doing all the other little things. It's like, if you don't hit threes, cool. At least do these things. At least defend. At least rebound. At least get some blocks. He's doing those other little things. And when you look at him, my man is pouring sweat. He's out there giving it his all, man.
Yeah,
so I gotta respect it. So
that's all you can ask for, man. Put in the work.
JaMychal Green, even if those threes aren't falling, and when they do, he's going to be an even bigger asset.
Yeah, I agree. It's a cold stretch, but we're gonna need those threes later on. So maybe he's just saving it for later.
Man, you can't hit them all in the first round. You got to save some for later.
Yeah, exactly. Leave them wanting more.
Leave them wanting more. That's the way to do it.
We got another comment from Ronnie saying, "Come on, Utah, we'll be waiting," and I'm 100% there. Spot on. We just got to
win the series though. First, we got to buckle down. We got to overcome the veteran leadership of Chris Paul, Jamerson, Crowder. These guys they've been in the league for a long time, and they're getting this team playing right that has had all kind of potential written all over them. You added a couple solid pieces to the rotation, and look where they're at. So, I mean, this team is definitely nothing to sneeze at. Even though I think that we could take them in 5, we're going to their home court first for a reason. So we definitely can't overlook our opponents. Phoenix, we need to take them seriously, and so we can dominate. If we put our foot off the pedal for 1 second.
It's how both of us come. If Phoenix there to play and we're not, we're definitely going 7, no doubt. But I think we're feeling good after this series. I mean, I'm feeling good after this series because
I think we're supposed to be getting PJ Dozier back soon too. So if we get PJ Dozier back this series, and then we're healthy going into meet with Utah. Oh man, I feel a lot better about our chances.
I agree. Thank you for that comment, Ronnie. Is there anything else you want to touch on? I feel like we've talked our way through everything with this series. We'll see what's going on with the next one.
I just want to keep my eye on the adjustments that Coach Malone makes.
Yeah.
If he turns this thing into a playoff type mentality, or if he's just going to keep rolling with the same things he does in the regular season, we need to dominate. We need to crush. We need to put fear in the other team's hearts. So we need to make sure they know the MVP is coming. We're coming. We want to ring with that. The MVP,
I think everybody's scared of Jokic, low key, man. Nobody knows how to play him.
No, they don't. I don't see anybody. Gobert can't guard him. Aiton's not going to be able to guard him. Who's
Mhm.
Brook? Griffin? There's a DeAndre Jordan. No, he can't guard him. So I'm looking at the center matchups. Nurkic was gonna be the toughest matchup for. He has something against the Nuggets. So
Yeah.
I thought this series is going to be our toughest series of the playoffs, besides the Utah Jazz. I feel like.
Mhm.
So I mean, I feel like that was going to be our challenge. We faced one of the most dangerous scorers. We faced a decent paint presence, and we got the revenge. Like they were playing against two players that have revenge against the Nuggets, and we took all that hate. We overcome all of that, and I feel like we're just made us way stronger for it. And then we're going to go into this next series healthier. We go into full strength against Utah. I mean, it's anybody's series.
Yeah. We are galvanized, man. I think we got this next series in the bag. We just gotta execute, and then we're on to the Western Conference Finals, back where we were last year, and up and away. Hopefully, man. I'm excited. I'd love to see the Nuggets in the finals. I really would.
Man, I want to make a game to this next series, but I do feel like I'm bad luck, man. I'm like over the playoff game. You know what I mean?
Save it for the finals, bro. Save it for the finals. It's okay if we lose the finals. At least we made it. At least we made it.
Okay. Ring or bust.
Ring or bust. Okay, yeah. I'm with that. I would love to see it happen. All right.
Other than that, yeah, man, got nothing.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. We talked through everything. I gotta plug our YouTube channel real quick because I made that. We're gonna be uploading I already did upload all the previous podcasts that we did to the Mile High Basketball Guys on YouTube. Go ahead and give that a subscribe. Gonna keep that updated. I'm trying to do a little UFC thing on there too, so keep an eye out. We got Adesanya next week. I'm super excited for that.
They have Mayweather fights tonight.
I don't care about that. That's sports entertainment, man. That's sports entertainment. The only thing that would happen in that, like, I don't even feel like they're actually going out to fight. I feel like they're out there gonna play fight, and Mayweather's gonna like let him hit him a few times so that people get excited, and then he's gonna put his ass on the ground.
Dude's got 30 pounds on him.
He's got 30 pounds on him, but he's got like 20 less years of boxing experience. Like,
that's true.
Yeah,
but there's no headgear. Like, hey, man, these are grown men throwing punches. I don't like either of them. So watching them get punched in the face is going to be like awesome. You know what I mean? There's a win-win there.
Yeah, I'd love to see Mayweather get rocked around a little bit, but there's no chance, man, unless it's just a complete putting up a wish, like no hope in the world. It's just not going to happen unless it's like played up for entertainment value. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds so rigged to me, you know?
Right. I mean, how fast it happened. I was like, dude, I felt like just last week they were just signing the contract. And
yeah, right. I was like, I just heard about this and now it's happening. Like,
yeah, I woke up today and I seen it and I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely propaganda, but whatever.
Propaganda. It's that Disney Channel propaganda, dude. All right. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Jamal Murray on the back. He'll be back next season, hopefully. Probably halfway through the season, too. But anyway, appreciate everybody for watching. Appreciate the reacts. Appreciate the comments, Ronnie. Brandon said, let's go Blues. We swept you. Get out of here. And for the Rocky Mountain Sports Report and the Mile High Basketballs podcast, this is Santi, Rico, and Michael Squires.